What's going on, guys? I am Kadarius Washington, and y'all are checking out the Sports Rundown. As you can see, a little change of scenery here. That's because I finally made it out of that sweat box of a garage. No more trying to focus on doing a sports talk program while wiping sweat off my big forehead. And I actually have signal on my phone, if you guys can believe that. But nevertheless, it's a pleasure to have you in. And of course, the second half, or rather the MLB regular season, resumes today after the All-Star break and after a very entertaining, to say the least, All-Star game on Tuesday night. And it was kind of ho-hum for the first 6 innings of the game. I mean, after Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks hit that 2-run double that brought in Ronald Acuna and Shohei Ohtani, it was kind of ho-hum until the bottom of the sixth when Pete Alonso hit that 3-run homer and then Corbin Carroll hit that solo shot to give the National League a 6-0 lead. And then, of course, you had the American League putting up 6 unanswered runs in the 7th and the 9th inning. And we had our very first swing off in the MLB All-Star game. As you know, a couple of years ago, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, replaced the extra innings with the swing off, or the home run derby. Now, me personally, I wasn't really a big fan of the change at first because of how rare it is that we get a all-star game that goes to extra innings. But I gotta be honest, that home run derby was pretty darn entertaining. I mean, in the American League, we had Brent Rooker, Jonathan Aranda, and Randy Arozarena taking on Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, and Kyle Stowers in the National League. And of course, the National League prevailed in that one by a score of 4-3, and Kyle Schwarber going 3 for 3 and taking home All-Star MVP honors. Now listen, me personally, I would have given the All-Star MVP to Pete Alonso because, of course, Alonso went 1 for 2, had that 3-run homer and had 3 RBIs, while Carl Schwarber went 0 for 2 as far as hitting is concerned. But nevertheless, that was a pretty entertaining All-Star game. I really loved that tribute to Hank Aaron at the end of the 6th inning. That was absolutely incredible there. Incredible job by the city of Atlanta hosting the All-Star game. And now we get more baseball. And as we now begin this push to the postseason, I have a couple of storylines that I'm kind of looking into and something to digest as we go ahead into this second half of the baseball season. The first storyline that I want to get into is Cal Riley. Of course, the home run derby champ from Monday night. Right now, he is leading baseball with 38 home runs, and right now he is on pace for 64 home runs, which would shatter Aaron Judge's home run record of 62 home runs that he set a couple of years ago. Now listen, I know generally people call it the American League home run record, but for me, I consider it to be the MLB home run record. I don't count the steroid guys as home run records, but that's another sports rundown for another day. So do I think Cal Riley is going to surpass Aaron Judge? Personally, I think he gets close, but I can see Cal Riley falling just short of that home run record. I mean, like I said, he has 38 home runs on the year. I think he's going to win AL MVP. I could see him hitting in the range between 50 and 55 home runs, but I don't think I can see him getting to 62 or even 63, which would ultimately shatter the record there. So that's storyline number one. Storyline number two I want to get into is the American League East. That's pretty much a 4-team race. I'm not worried about the Orioles. They're done. Right now, the Blue Jays are in control of the American League East, followed by the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Rays. That's going to be a very, very entertaining race as far as the American League East is concerned. Right now, the Red Sox have been on a little bit of a heater. So far, the Rays, we've come to that part of the season where the Rays go on a little bit of a run, and the Yankees have been an absolute roller coaster this entire season. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to see as far as the American League East is concerned. American League Central, the Tigers are running away and hiding with that division with a record of 59-38. They've been the best team in baseball all year. Tarek Skubal, I think Skubal right now is the favorite to win the AL Cy Young, and I can see him taking home his second straight AL Cy Young, as he has been one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball this entire year. So that's another storyline there. And then the American League West, I think that's going to be a 3-team race between the Astros, Mariners, and Rangers. I can really realistically see the Rangers going on a little bit of a heater there. And, of course, the Astros, who we thought were kind of going to be due for a down year, have turned it on. And then, of course, you have the Mariners, who are pretty good. So that's an interesting thing to watch in the American League West. And then the American League East, right now I say it's a 2-team race. It's between the Mets and the Phillies. The Marlins stink, the Braves stink, and my Washington Nationals are absolutely pathetic. I mean, of course we fired Mike Rizzo and Davey Martinez, but somehow, some way, we found a way to fall all the way to dead freaking last in the National League East. But nevertheless, that race is going to come down to the Mets and the Phillies. NL Central is a very interesting thing. I can see the Cubs going on and separating themselves from the NL Central. And then, of course, the Dodgers, who are the best team in the National League. And, of course, the road to the World Series is going to run through Chavez Ravine. And what I'm looking for is, who do I think is the biggest threat to the Dodgers as far as the National League? I say the biggest threat to the Dodgers is the Cubs. I really like their bullpen. Right now, they're third in the National League with an earned run average of 3.54. They've got Pete Crow Armstrong, who I think right now is the favorite to win the NL MVP. But that's going to be a very interesting thing to see. But I do think right now the Cubs are the biggest threat to the Dodgers in the National League. But nevertheless, it's going to be a very interesting second half of the season. You never know who might go on a heater, because baseball is a very weird and wacky sport. That's why I'm not really making too many predictions until we get to the postseason, because literally any of these teams can get hot and go on a run and win the whole thing, and it's usually the teams that we least expect. But I'm definitely excited for this second half of the MLB season as we now make this push to the playoffs. Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell to be notified of when I post again, and also follow me on Twitter and on Blue Sky at CW Talk Sports. That's CWTALKS Sports, and I will see y'all the next time. Peace.